When we call an anime bad, it's usually referring to how poorly a story is written or how the animation is very mediocre. It's very rare nowadays that we actually get an anime that's not only very bad at storytelling, but also has poorly done animation. Well, with X-Arm being a very recent example of having terrible animation and being awfully produced. But point being, it's very rare for something like that to happen today, with all the tools that's available and how mainstream anime has become. With the anime industry mainly consisting of bangers and mediocrity, I decided to search for the worst rated / reviewed anime. So after googling just that and looking at the bottom of Mal's rated anime, I was led to this particular anime, Mars of Destruction. Released in 2005, Mars of Destruction is a 19-minute OVA about a police force fighting aliens from Mars. But seeing it as Mal's worst rated anime, how bad can it actually be? Okay, that was something. So, let me give a summary as to what exactly happens, so you don't have to personally watch it. So, after returning from a voyage from Mars or something, the ship just blows up. Then we just cut to Earth, where it's explained that the aliens are called Ancients. And you want to keep that in mind. But they're trying to wipe out humanity, because who doesn't love doing that at this point? And that's where we get our introduction to them and the special police force that's there to defend humanity from the Ancients. With, of course, this epic fighting scene. Yup, that fighting scene sure does give Marvel a run for its money. But anyways, suddenly another alien comes out of nowhere, but no, he isn't like the others. No, no, no. He's here to kill the aliens and help the police force. But after all of that, it then cuts to a scene in the hospital where we find out that the alien guy is actually, just like every anime, a regular high school student until he was forced to wear that outfit and fight the aliens. Kinda reminds me of another anime that I know. Nah. Jumping forward a bit, the police force are going somewhere, but are immediately attacked by the ancients, showing us another epic fight scene. But of course, they can't beat the ancients without the main pro tag, so he gets into his outfit, T-pose style, and comes out to fight. As Beethoven music starts playing in the background. I would show this, but I'm not gonna risk getting a copyright strike, so enjoy this lovely music.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
But yeah, the director for this decided to pick Beethoven music for the fight scene. What world do we live in where Beethoven is credited in fucking anime? Like, what the fuck? But putting that aside, the fight continues, and they end up beating the alien. Then, just immediately cutting us to a research facility in America, where a scientist explains that they found some fragments from several thousand years ago, before humans were alive, that belonged to the ancients that could have resulted in the birth of humanity. Then, after this is brought up, we cut back again to the aftermath of the fight, and the alien reawakens, declaring that they're the original Earthlings and not us, for we're parasites. And then it just fucking ends. Man, if there was ever an anime to make me think so deeply about society, I would have never thought it'd be Mars of Destruction! Or not. But now that we sadly know what this anime is about, let's get into the nitty gritty about the existence of this anime. So, in this part of the video, I'd like to talk about the main figures that had their hands on this OVA, because when I looked at their resume, it just seemed very interesting, and you'll probably see what I mean. Hopefully. Let's start off with the main person who directed this shit show, that being Sato Yoshiteru. Also, forgive me when I say the Japanese names in a weird way, cause I'm not Japanese, if you couldn't tell. Now, when we look at his works, we'll be seeing a pattern, but let's slowly build up to that and go through them to understand what I mean. First up, Gakuen Toshi Baranoir Jokan. He worked as a planning producer for this one, but let's see who it's produced by, for curiosity's sake. Let's see here, Idea Factory. Interesting. Next, Generation of Chaos. He has multiple roles for this one, for he worked on the screenplay, script, and he was also an episode director for it. And it was produced by Idea Factory. Generation of Chaos 3, he kind of worked on similar things for it, and it's also produced by Idea Factory. I mean, it's the same anime, so nothing wrong with that. Kingdom of Chaos, Born to Kill. Again, he worked on similar things for it. And again, Idea Factory. Mamemune Mogacho. Okay, this is kind of different than what he's worked on. But okay, let's see who produced this. Oh, Tokyo TV. Sega. And Idea Factory. Fucking Idea Factory again, huh? Jesus. Also, I wanted to mention that this anime is also interesting because it doesn't have any rating on Now, but people have seen it, and I'm not able to find any episodes of it. So maybe another video? I don't know. If you're interested, leave a comment. But point is, all of the anime he's worked on have been produced by Idea Factory. Now, you might think that this is irrelevant, but looking a bit more into Sato, by that I mean just looking to the left, you'll see that he's actually a representative director of a game company called Compile Hearts, which is a subsidiary of Idea Factory. And you want to know what their biggest game is? Well, have you heard of a game called Hyperdimension Neptunia? Yes, the people who created Mars of Destruction also created Neptunia. Now, for those of you who don't know what Hyperdimension Neptunia is, essentially, it's a JRPG that was released on the PS3, and the game is basically a parody of gaming, with the characters living on a planet named Plain Petune? I don't know, which is a reference on the cancelled Sega console. And on that planet are 3 regions called the Le Station, Laui, and the Lean Box. I don't think I need to tell you which consoles they represent. Now, I wouldn't say that Neptunia is the biggest series there is, but it is fairly big enough to have multiple sequels and spin-offs, as well as plenty of merchandise. Now, coming back from that tangent, you might be wondering how that game relates to Mars of Destruction. Well, did I forget to mention that Mars of Destruction was originally a PS2 visual novel that came out in 2005? Yup, as to how well it did, I have no clue, since trying to find anything on it only brings up the anime and not the game. The only thing you're able to find relating to this game is just one guy's playthrough of it. Poor soul. But yeah, there's a lot here that could possibly be another topic on its own. So, to not derail this video, let's get back on subject. Sato has worked on Idea Factory anime, and all of them have negative reviews, which just shows that trying to adapt a game to an anime is probably not the best idea. Next is the episode director, Nagamura Shinji. There's nothing really special about him as Sato. He has worked on a few anime, but none related to an Idea Factory. Same with Fujisawa Sunikio, the scriptwriter. It's interesting to see that he's worked on a script of 2 movies, but there's nothing really too special here. Though the other writer, Takeuchi Koji, never worked on anything else after Mars of Destruction. Don't know if he just quit or what, but yeah, maybe this anime ruined his reputation. I don't know. Though animation director Ishii Kazuhiko has done some animation work in plenty of animes, which is probably not that surprising since I don't think anime studios care who does the animation since they're paid in pennies. He's worked on an episode of One Piece, Fairy Tail, and some of the Pokemon movies, to name a few. Also, he's also worked on a hentai called Tokubetsu Byoto. Don't know if it's any good, but if you've seen it, then leave a comment saying so, I guess. Just see if you made it this far. There is one final guy, but there was nothing really special about him. So yeah, that's all of the people who worked on this anime. Of course, there's also Beethoven, Wagner, and Sadi, whose music were used, but again, nothing too important. It's just interesting to find out that Mars of Destruction was originally a PS2 game and that a big studio funded this, even though most of it were cutscenes from the game, and that the studio went to make Hyperdimension Neptunia. Life really works in mysterious ways. Now, this is probably where I would end the video, but there is something that I want to talk about, and it's the sole reason for me wanting to make this video in the first place. And that is the Mars of Destruction fan dub. Instead of immediately jumping right into it, I want to explain how I found this. POV. You're watching anime with your friends. We finished watching the latest episode of One Piece, where me and my friends had no prior context on what's going on in the story whatsoever. Don't ask. As well as watching some ReZero, cause I've never watched it. After all of that, we just go through the list of the totally legal streaming site to see what they had to offer. We started searching for some bad anime to watch, when suddenly, we're reminded of Mars of Destruction being labeled as one of the worst ones. Searching for it, we find it, but alongside the sub, there's also another option to pick, a fan dub version. Intrigued, I clicked on it.
The 2 agents found. Proceed to eliminate them.
What the fuck? Ooh, that's what Daddy likes.
Asked American Adolescent Strike Team.
I couldn't believe what I just watched. How these people turned one of the worst animes to one of the best. So of course I gave that shit a 10 out of 10. But it left me wondering, who exactly made this fan dub? After making a simple YouTube search, cause if it's a fan dub then it would of course originally been uploaded on YouTube, I found 2 results. One that has the whole thing and the other being broken up into parts. And looking at the upload dates, it was a no-brainer that the original was the one that was broken into parts. The channel that uploaded this was called Super BWB Productions, created in 2011, where their only upload was just this, the fan dub. Wanting to know more about the people that worked on this fan dub, I shot them an email and waited for their possible response. And waited. But weeks later, they have yet to respond. They probably had plans to make more fan dubs on their channel or something, but decided to abandon it in the end. So it is a bit upsetting that I'll never find out who exactly created this fan dub, and if they ever know that their dub made it into a very illegal website. But yeah, that's all I have at the end of the day about this infamous anime. Of course, there is the game that I mentioned earlier, but I don't think I want to torture myself with playing that game just to see what happens. Plus, I don't think anyone took the time out of their day to try and translate this fucking game, since it's stuck on Japanese. But if there's someone willing to do it, or if there is a patch to have it translated, then I'll probably consider giving it a shot. But of course, I'll have to see how this video does before even considering it. But anyways, that's about it for this video. We really went on a wacky journey just to learn a bit more about this anime, huh? But of course, if you want to see more videos like this, then feel free to leave a like and a comment below on what you'll want me to possibly talk about next. But with that, I'll have to say farewell and watch some good anime to cleanse your plate, because you really didn't need this in your life.